Okay, so let's pick up with you got arrested for the prescriptions, and your dad came out here, got you a lawyer, and you got PC 1000.
Okay.
And then let's go from there.
So after that, I just kind of kept going. Nothing really stopped. I mean, I stopped kind of selling the oxys and stuff at that point, but I was still like heavy in my addiction, running around with a bunch of people. They were doing fraud at the time. Things that they were doing, I just couldn't fathom because I was raised in such a Catholic, like with good morals, good values. So some of these things that they were doing, I was like, what? You could do that? Like it blew my mind.
Like what?
Like just stealing people's credit cards and ordering stuff, just like the normal fraud stuff.
Fraud.
Like
Yeah,
it
okay.
just fraud, yeah. But at that time I was just new to it. People were just showing me how to do it. So all these things. And then I had like a friend at the time. He was like into like getting jewelry from people's houses. I know.
My ex did that. My ex did
Oh
that.
my gosh. Yeah, so one time I remember going with him. He had me go knock on the door to make sure nobody was home, and I'm out there just waiting for him. He takes a long time and he finally comes down and he's like, "Hey, we need someone with a truck. I have this huge safe. We need to find a truck." And he's like, "It's a gun safe." I had to bring it down all the stairs by myself. It was as big as me. And so I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I carried it down with a skateboard and I brought it down all the steps." I know, it was wild.
Holy
And so
shit.
yeah, so we had one of his friends, they backed the truck up into the garage, opened the garage, nobody's home. He's gotten in and out maybe 6 times to this house, and I'm just, like, tripping, like, because this is the first time I've ever been involved in something like this, so
Is
I'm the
it
adrenaline
daytime?
rush.
Is it
It's
daytime?
daytime,
Oh my
daytime,
gosh.
middle of
And
the
they've
day.
got neighbors? Like it's a neighborhood?
Yeah, so it gets better. So he getting it down, he was sweating all over the thing. So he got bleach and like wiped it all down. But the guy didn't have gloves to help him, so he takes off one of his gloves and they both load it into the back of the truck. Just barely though, right?
With one hand each?
Yeah, one hand each, just scooting it into the bed of the truck. There's like he was like a gardener, so there was like a bunch of tools to garden in the back of the truck. So it's like hanging off, the tailgate's open. And they're having me drive and they're like, go, go, go. I've never been involved in anything like this. I was tripping out. So I like gun it. And it's in the middle of a cul-de-sac, right? And so I gun it. The safe falls out of the back of the truck in front of like this lady and her kid. She's like walking the kid in a stroller and she's just looking at us. And my friend at the time's like, "We gotta get it. We gotta get it." I was like, we're like, "No, no, let's just go." Like it was insane. So, anyways, we took off, right? And like they're tripping because they think their DNA is all over it. This is something I've never experienced before. So I'm just like beyond beside myself. Like I don't even know what to do at this point. So we go around the corner, we wait for a little bit, and we're like, okay, well, if the coast is clear, let's go back and get it because their their prints are all over it. So we try to go back and get it. They have the whole neighborhood blocked off, cops everywhere. Like, it was insane. It was insane
Do you think that lady called the cops?
for sure. Cause she just looked at us looked at us going by. She saw the safe fall out. It was almost like a slow motion movie. Like, it was crazy.
And is this before Ring cameras were on every door?
Oh, yeah, this was,
Okay.
like, back in 2008, maybe
Oh,
maybe
shit. So
2009.
yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah, long time ago.
Did they get caught for that? Or did you?
No, no, luckily, but,
Holy
I mean,
shit.
that's where I don't know, and he kept doing it after that, like,
Sure.
yeah, you know?
Wow. Dude, you're
He
actually
was so ballsy.
you're the second person I've interviewed that robbed a house and found a safe. But the other one is fucking crazy, dude. So he robbed like a mansion, a really wealthy family in like Marin, San Francisco. And as he was walking out, there was a guest house on the property. And he glanced into the guest house and there was a safe in there. They'd already robbed the main house. So they run in together and get the safe and get out of there and take off. He gets it open and it has a USB in it with child pornography on it from the guy that lived in the guest house, and it was current. Yes, it was current. He was abusing kids. And so,
That's awful.
yep. And so Matt, who I interviewed, was a two striker. And that would have been a third strike that sent him away for life. But he turned it in anyways.
No way.
Yep. He somehow got it to the police station. He like made sure his fingerprints weren't all over it. He gave the address. He gave it all to them. And then he got busted for something else like 6 months later. And on the way in, the cop was like, you know how they get to know us? And sometimes they'll be like, I don't know why you're out here, Janine. You know, like I had a couple of cops, they're like, you got to get away from that Evan guy. And I'm like, I know. Like they start to like know you. They knew him. And the guy was like, dude, I really thought you turned your fucking life around. And Matt was like, yeah, no, I know, but you know what? At least you got so and so. And he said the guy's name because the guy had been arrested and everything. And the cop realized Matt had somehow done that. And so they didn't give him life, partially because he had turned that guy in. He turned in an active child molester.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that
That's
crazy?
insane.
I
Yeah.
know. I know.
Yeah. So my friend that used to rob houses all the time, he would tell me some crazy stuff too, like the stuff he would find and just one time he found like a huge trash bag full of just like 5 tins, one like tons of money. Like this guy's had tons of money, but he had a really bad gambling problem. So
So he
he would
robbed
just blow it all.
someone that had cash,
Oh yeah, he found gold plates of like, the gold nuggets, what are they called?
like
Like
bricks,
like the brick.
like
Yeah.
old timey like bricks, like what would be at like the Federal Reserve.
Right, like a bunch of them. And I mean, he's found probably millions of dollars like worth of gold.
Wow.
And he could just pick it out. Like I don't know how he did, but like he would just be like something about their lawn furniture and like the cars they drive. I don't know. He had like a method to his madness, but yeah.
So Evan would look on eBay and look for people selling designer watches and try to figure out where they were and go steal the watches. But you know what? When I look back, he lied to me a lot and like more than I realized. And that's probably not true. It's probably something else. And that's how he would get their addresses because he lied to me a lot about the crimes he was committing. Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
never actually knew. And it wasn't to protect me, it's just because he was a fucking pathological liar, I think. Maybe a little bit so that I didn't have information, but I think it was mainly because he just lied about everything. And so I've like thought about that since then, and you can't find the person's address. Otherwise, everybody would just rob people that listed things on eBay. So I feel like that wasn't true.
Right, because I mean, do they give them their real address? Or maybe if like you're sending like something, you have to put a return address on there, but like
But then you've already bought it.
right. So that's what I'm saying. Like how would
Yeah.
he even know like,
And he
"Hey, I want to
and
come pick
listen,
it up."
and this man was not computer savvy, okay? Like
Oh yeah.
no, no. We had a laptop actually that the cops took when they raided our house, and I tried to get it back. But anyways, hi, because we hadn't stolen it, and I actually called the police when I was in detox, and I was like, "Hey, so y'all took a computer of mine that was actually not used when I was printing fake checks. Is there any way I could get that back?" And no one ever called me back, obviously. But I was kind of bummed. I needed it for work, you know. But anyways, okay,
Yeah.
Anthony, you're okay. Look at this little guy. He sits on me all the time.
Oh, I
Who's
know
that
my dogs, they're
baby?
they're
He's a
scratching out the end of
he's
the
a baby. Okay,
He's
anyways,
cutie
he's
pie.
really cute. He's literally like a baby. He crawls in our laps like a baby and he'll curl up. It's like we have a baby now, which is really nice because Tank is actually not very cuddly. And so it's nice that this guy is, you know. So anyways.
Yeah. Same
So,
with my dogs.
yeah. You've got two?
Too. A girl and a boy. The girl's very cuddly. The boy is like,
Yeah, that's how
don't
Tank
touch me.
is. That's kind of how Tank
He just
is.
wants to play.
Okay, you can't eat my hair though. So, how long do these years go on? And are you strung out on heroin also during this time?
Pretty much. Maybe at that time it was just meth.
Okay.
And then shortly after I started selling pills and
Oh, you did.
all
You
that
got
stuff.
back into it.
Yeah, no, I didn't get back into it. I just
Oh, the safe thing happened before you got arrested for the
before.
prescriptions.
Yes.
Oh, I got it. I
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. No,
I'm
that makes
getting my
sense.
timeline a little confused.
No, no, no. That makes sense. That makes
Yeah, I
sense.
was just
Also,
doing
that was
meth
a
at that
great
time.
story. I don't care if you have to jump around on a timeline and tell me a fucking story like that. I don't care at all. I'm going to use that as the clip probably. This is great. So, do you
Yeah.
complete PC 1000?
I do. Yes, I completed it. Stayed out of trouble for a year. And then shortly after, I started just getting arrested for like possessions, like nothing big. I mean, I probably got arrested the whole time I was using, probably like, I don't know, 17 times? Something crazy.
Wow.
I mean, I got arrested a lot, but it was like there was never really any big consequences, like maybe 30 days in jail or like a slap on the wrist. There's a really crazy story, another crazy
All
story too.
right, let's go. But also, this was in Orange County, right? That you were going to jail?
This is in Orange County, yeah. I mean, yeah, back and forth. I went to jail in New Mexico too, but I'll talk about that in a little bit because that was like shortly after all this. So we're going to the club in LA. I had a friend that really could get us into the club and like, VIP, we get free drinks and stuff. So we were all going clubbing. And one of our friends got left out because we didn't have enough room. So I was hanging out with these two twin friends of mine. This guy, actually the guy I got my dogs from, he was the one driving, and then a friend of mine at the time. And we're all going to LA. We went clubbing, had a great time, free drinks, hung out with the DJ, like so much fun. Anyways, we're on our way back. We're sitting in the back of the truck, and my friend goes, "Dude, what? My back is burning." He turns around and looks. The whole bed of the truck is on fire. And we're on the freeway, driving down the freeway on the 405, coming back from LA, and we're in the carpool lane. We have to swerve. We're like, dude, your bed of the truck's on fire. He had like this Persian rug that was like rolled up in the back of the truck, and it was just flaming. And so I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna blow up. We're gonna blow up. This is insane. He has to swerve like 6 lanes on the freeway. It's like probably 4 o'clock in the morning. So there's not too much traffic, but there's still traffic on the freeway. We're trying to bob and weave traffic, get on the side of the road. We get out of the car and like we all just take off running and the whole truck explodes.
No!
Yes.
I thought that was like a myth that that could happen. The truck actually
No,
exploded
it actually exploded.
and you just watched it happen?
We just watched it. My friends are throwing up. They can't even, they're just like so sick. They don't even, and I'm just like in awe, like, what the fuck is going on?
How soon was it from y'all getting away to it exploding?
I would say like a minute or two.
No way. So you were this close to getting exploded in the car.
We're like, okay, I guess it's not, nothing's gonna happen. But he's like, just get, stand back, you never know. And we just are seeing it engulfed in flames, this whole rug. Anyways, later on, we found out it was a Molotov cocktail that someone threw in the back of the truck.
No way. How did they find out? Because you could see like the glass and the remains or something? I'm sure investigators can tell.
Yeah, he got from insurance, he got the report back. But then I started hearing rumors through the grapevine that the one guy we left out, that we wouldn't let him come with us because there was not enough room, that he's the one that threw it in the back of the truck.
Do you believe that?
I mean, I've talked to him since then, and he says no, but you can never believe any of these addicts or
But he would have had to have gotten his own ride up there,
Right,
made a Molotov cocktail, waited
exactly,
outside until you guys left,
right.
and followed
So,
you. I mean, does
and we're like,
is that
yeah, we were like
reasonable
trying.
for who this person
I
is?
No, I mean, maybe he's pretty resourceful,
Yeah.
and he did have. It was a long time in between from when we left him to when we were leaving the club.
Yeah.
So it's a possibility he could have, but like that takes a lot of like determination
A
to do
lot.
something like,
A lot.
yeah, but I heard it from several people that, like, don't really
Wow.
hang out together, so that's kinda where I was at, and I've confronted him, and he some now it's, like, kind of like a joke, like, we'll just laugh it off, but he never really denied it, but he never really said, like, "No, it wasn't me."
Wow. Holy shit.
It
So
was
did the guy
crazy.
get this is random, doesn't really matter, but did your friend that owned the truck get blamed for that or did he get insurance money? Because that's not your fault.
No, I don't think, because I remember for a long time after, he was, like, pissed off about it because I don't know if he got insurance money because,
Oh.
they figured, like, maybe it was his fault or he was, I don't know. I
Or
didn't.
maybe he had liability only. And I bet if you had got because we all only had liability only, right? Anytime we had a car. One of my cars still is liability only, the one that we own. So like if you have liability only and someone hits you with a Molotov cocktail, you probably it's not covered. He probably
Right.
had liability. He was a tweaker too, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did he have a Persian rug in the back? Did he steal that from somewhere?
Who knows? He was moving. I
Okay.
don't even remember his story of why he had it, or I think he got it from one of our friends when we were down there. Because he's from Lakewood, so he would come down to Orange County to hang out with us and then drive back up. But I mean, honestly, the only thing I remember of that was that situation happening. I don't really remember the events that happened before or
That is
after. Just,
crazy, Kristen. That's
I mean,
crazy.
it is
So you
crazy.
missed getting blown up by a minute.
Yeah,
The
minute
other
or two.
people
Yeah,
threw up because they were so shaken up?
yeah. They were. I mean, it was wild. Like, it's a story that I'll never forget, like, coming this close to death, you know?
Were you on meth?
Yeah, I was on meth.
Holy shit, dude,
I
that's
know.
crazy.
It
That's one of
was
the
really
craziest stories I've ever heard on this show.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was super crazy. Like, scared me to death, like, ugh, I was so mad because I had heard that it was that guy, so I didn't talk to him for a long time, and the
Yeah.
guy that owned the truck, he kinda, like, distanced himself from all of us, so I don't really know what happened after.
Yeah.
It wasn't till much later that I even got in contact with him again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a story
Wow.
we always were like, "Remember that time?
That's
Like, we almost died?"
crazy, dude. That's fucking crazy. So this is during the post piece PC 1000 time?
Yeah, so this
Okay.
is after PC 1000, after everything happened. This is just a few stories in between there,
Yeah.
you know, that
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
some crazy things that happen, near death experiences for me.
Yeah.
My arrests, I mean, like I said, I was like maybe in jail for a day or two. You know, I have to give my DNA for one of the charges, or I'd have to go to some class, or I never had too many consequences, you
Okay.
know?
Yeah.
And then,
Okay.
like, I remember at the end, I had like three possessions that they brought into one, and I had to serve like 30 days in jail.
Okay.
So I did like 30 days in jail here at the Orange County Jail.
How was that?
It was it's like a big slumber party. I mean, it's horrible, but at the end of the day, like, it was cool. I mean, I was still heavy in my addiction and there was drugs in there, you know?
Oh,
It's
okay.
not yeah. So it was just like and then of course I had like my parents taking care of me or like my mom or
Yeah.
a friend of mine or something. They put money on my books. I never really went without.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I learned how to make a lot of
You learned how to
yeah,
make a lot of crafts. Is that what you said?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Just like weird shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Make tampons out of like crazy stuff, right?
Yeah, out of a pad,
Hmm.
roll it up. Yeah, it's, like,
We
weird.
actually did that at one of the programs I was at. They like showed me how, even though no, we didn't have tampons. It was weird because it was like a jail based program, kind of.
Oh, run by
And so,
DOC, yeah.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So where do we start to go from there?
So, I was, like, trying to be normal, but not really, like, I would do people's hair, color people's hair for them, like, I got really into doing hair there for a minute, but it was kinda like my activity. Like,
I've
you
never
know, my
heard
mom
that
would say, like
before. A twacktivity. That's fucking awesome.
Um, yeah, so it just became like my thing that I did. My mom was a hairstylist, so I would use her license and, you know, start doing people's hair. And I got really good at it. The more you do it, the more you get better at it. So I was like trying to be normal in a sense, but then I would lose my apartment or something would happen and I'd go right back to staying on, you know, it was just like this bounce around constantly. But I never really struggled too much. Like, I mean, yeah, bouncing from place to place, I guess, is struggling. But like, the only time I really struggled is so I had moved back to New Mexico, right? And I had brought a friend with me. He was like kind of my plug out here. And I had brought him back over there with me just as friends to show him, like, hey, you can make a lot of money over here, you know?
Selling drugs?
And selling meth, yeah.
Okay.
And so he came down there with me. We got a house. It's a lot cheaper to live over there.
Yeah.
It's like you can get a place for like 600-700 bucks
Yeah.
a
That's
month,
crazy.
you know, a house.
Yeah.
So we got a house and like he was doing his thing and I kind of came back over here for like a brief period of time because one of my friends, he was like one of my best friends, he got out of prison at the time. And so he couldn't come to see me. So I decided to come out here. So I left for like 3 months. I left my friend Victor, his name's Victor, at the pad over there in New Mexico, like doing his thing, you know? And I came back over here to hang out with my friend Justin. So we're like hanging out, running amok. We ended up like hooking up, you know, which it was never like that before. it was just we just started hooking up, and it was kind of like, I don't know, I like fell in love with him, you know? 3 months later, we're like, let's go back to New Mexico. It's cheaper to live over there, you know? He's like, fine, I'm just gonna go on the run. So he comes back over to New Mexico with me. Oh, and the gun laws are a lot different in New Mexico. I'm never a gun person. I don't like guns. I'm not into that thing, but you know how guys are.
Yeah, I do.
They're all into it.
So he was on parole. So leaving meant he was gonna go on the run.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So we go to New Mexico, and as soon as we get back, shit's just a little weird. Like, it just feels a little weird. I'm not feeling well. I feel so sick. My body's sick. I'm smoking heroin, still feeling sick. Can't figure out what it is. And the cops come knocking at my door that day. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And they were looking for my friend Victor. And I was like, yeah, he's not here. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And they're like, well, I don't know. Somehow they made their way in my house. They asked me for my ID. You know, I'm like real cooperative when it comes to cops, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to give up any information that doesn't need to be given up, you know? So, like, they asked me for my ID and they pulled me outside, and I had like a warrant or like I think a warrant for like a traffic violation or something, right? So I ended up going to the jail that day, and they start to book me into jail. And the nurse that says she can't be booked,
I know where this is
she needs to
going.
go to the hospital. And I'm like, for what? She's like, we need to verify that you're actually pregnant. And I'm like, no. What is going on? Yeah. So while I'm at the hospital and in jail, the cops decide to come in my house and raid my house. I don't know if they had a warrant or if they waited for a warrant or what, but basically, like, I don't know if he's Victor sold to an undercover. It's all really a blur to me, but I know that they were looking for him. They ended up coming in our house. The house was under his name because he had rented it, and I was just kind of staying there, you know, because we lived there together, whatever. I end up I'm positive I'm pregnant at this point. So I'm like 3.5 months pregnant, strung out on heroin, doing Xanax, doing meth, and all this other stuff starts going on. So I get out of jail that night. My boyfriend at the time, Justin, my friend, best friend, Justin, the father of my child now at this point, bails me out. Him and my mom come bail me out. And we go back to the house. It's thrashed. They've taken everything. There was a bunch of dope in the safe. Yeah, just this whole mess. And a couple days later, so we're like, we got to get out of this house. I don't know what to do. Like, and the cops are contacting my mom for some reason, asking to talk to me. And I'm like, I'm not talking to them. Like, I'm not talking to them. No, I don't care. So basically, we move into this other house. It's been like maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks or so at this point. We end up moving into another house. Like I said, rent's not very expensive out there, so it's easy to, move around. We move into this other house, and my mom comes over to visit one day, and she's on the phone with someone. She's like, yeah, hold on, I'll let you talk to her. And I get on the phone, and it's one of the detectives. So my mom's like basically like forcing me to talk to them. And the detective tells me, look, if you don't come in and talk to us, we're going to end up charging you. So you have till 4 o'clock today to come in and talk to us, or we're charging you with what we found. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll be right there, you know? And at that point, I'm like tripping. I'm pregnant, tripping. Like, the guy that came down with me, he's from some hood in LA. Like, there's no way I'm going in to talk to these cops. They'll fucking kill me, you know? Is what I'm thinking. I'm like, there's no fucking way. So we pack up everything and decide to move back to California, just kind of bouncing around. I'm pregnant. We don't have a house in California that we could go to. We're just trying to figure it out, you know? So I get to California. I have no insurance to go see a doctor at this point. I try to go get seen by a doctor. They give me emergency medical or emergency medical services, but I can't get food stamps. I can't even go to the county to ask them for housing because I have now. Oh, yeah. So they ended up charging me as soon as I left. They ended up charging me with trafficking for methamphetamine trafficking. So I find out at this point, when this is how I found out, is I went to go get services, and the lady pulls me aside and says, I know you're pregnant. I'm not going to have you arrested, but we can't give you any services.
Oh, shit.
And so I'm like, I'm just like beyond myself. I feel like shit. I'm constantly hurting. I'm trying to get on methadone. It took me until I was like 6 or 7 months pregnant to be able to get on methadone because I didn't have an ID. I didn't have a birth certificate. I didn't have any residency in California, and you have to be a California resident to do that. Even though this whole time I've lived here before, I've never needed to. I was always had my New Mexico ID, never had to. So at that point, Justin's sister at the time, she took me to go get my license. So we had to wait 2 weeks for that. First of all, I had to wait like a couple days for my birth certificate. Finally, I got my birth certificate, and I had to wait for a bank card to come in the mail. So I had some proof of residency.
Oh my
So that's like a
gosh.
whole month right there.
Yeah.
So I'm like constantly just, and the doctor tells me like, he's not telling me to do heroin, but he's telling me that it'll be life threatening to the baby if like, you just completely stop until you get on some methadone at this point. Cause I've been doing it like 4 or 5 months with the baby. So I'm like, it was just a really rough time. And I'm homeless still, pregnant, homeless. I don't feel good every day. So like, I can't even hustle to do anything. My boyfriend at the time was just I don't even know what he was doing. He wasn't really taking care of me, like, it was just a mess. Like, I couldn't take care of myself at that point, I was trying so hard, and it was just a really, really tough time.
You didn't consider terminating the pregnancy?
It was too far along at that point.
Oh, okay, okay. Holy shit.
Oh, I was just finally, after, like I think it was, like, I was in month 6 or 7 that I was able to finally get on methadone, and they start you very low, and you have to work your way up. So I'm on methadone, and at that point, I had stopped doing smoking heroin, stopped doing everything. We're still, like, living out of his car. We don't have a really steady place to live. Every occasionally, we'll go to his sister's house, she'll let us stay there, but she has a full house. She's living with her grandma. She has 4 kids of her own, so there's, like, nowhere for us to go. We would go stay at Justin's friend's house at the time, occasionally, but there's no room for us there either. So we're just like bouncing around from place to place, just trying to survive. Going and staying with addicts, I'm trying my hardest not to use. Occasionally, like once or twice, I think I tried smoking meth, like to keep me up to go to the next place, but I wasn't really doing drugs at that point after I got on the methadone. I was trying really hard to like maintain, it's really difficult when you're in like your heavy addiction like that. So I tried my hardest and towards the end I would say like probably 7 months pregnant at this point and my boyfriend ends up getting arrested. We both end up getting arrested. I can't remember. I just got held for a little bit and then they let me go. It was a probation violation from when he left to New Mexico with me. So they took him in and he had to do like a I don't know what you call it, like a probation violation, like a flash or whatever you call it, like a 60-day
Yeah, it's
probation
flash.
violation,
God, I haven't heard
right?
that since I was in rehab, but I think that's right.
Is it? I don't know what it's called. I'm like so unfamiliar with that kind of stuff because I was never on probation over
I
here
think that's
besides
right though.
informal
Yeah.
probation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he ends up getting, I think, 60 days. I think it was 60 days. So I'm like, ooh, that's cutting it close. He'll be right out just in time for the baby, at this point. Anyway, so when that happened, his friend's mother, the one that I was staying with every now and then, said that I can come stay with her, at her house and that I could stay in their garage, basically. And so I was very grateful for that because then I was no longer homeless. And for some reason, his car didn't get towed, or maybe it did. And I don't really remember about the car, but I remember having the car by myself to be able to take myself to the methadone clinic, take myself to doctor's appointments, stuff like that. Yeah, it was just a really rough time.
How
Like,
did you have any money at all to buy food and stuff?
I didn't. Like, his sister would give me money. I mean, it was one of the toughest times I've ever been through.
Dude, I can't imagine.
There wasn't a lot going on. Like, you'd think all these other crazy times would be hard for me, but this time I just couldn't work up any energy to do anything. I was trying so hard not to use and be around people. I had no motivation. I was devastated that I was put myself in this position. I was scared to death because I'm facing a lot of time and charges in New Mexico. So I had just my mindset was just it was like a rock bottom for me. And you would think that like at that time I'd be like, you know what, I should just turn myself in, but it didn't even occur to me that because I knew I was looking at a lot of time in New Mexico because they don't do like a slap on the wrist like over here. You know, you get a lot of time for over there. Then again, I had never been in trouble over there, and it didn't dawn on me that like, I'd never been in trouble, so they'll probably give me like not a harsh sentence, but I'm pregnant. I don't care. I don't want to be in jail. It just you would think now looking back on it, I wish I would have turned myself in because I was absolutely miserable. Like, it was the hardest time of I would say I've ever had, you know? I had a horrible pregnancy, like, it was just really rough. So anyways, I had, like, a few friends that would come stop by and, bring me food or, like but for the most part, Justin's friend's mom was, like, taking care of me, at this point. But I was just bored out of my mind, not just sitting there waiting till he gets out of jail. I would go to my methadone, and that was all I would do all day. Anyways, I remember towards the end, one of my friends came and visited. This was like I was probably 8 I was like 2 weeks from delivering. Yeah, one of my friends came in to visit me at this point. She was one of my plugs. She came to bring me food, and she was like, "Do you mind if I smoke?" And I'm like, "No." And I was kinda, like, not wanting her to, because I didn't wanna be around it, but I didn't she brought me all this stuff. I felt bad for saying no. I'm kind of like a people pleaser at that point. So she was smoking, not around me, but, like, over there, I know she was smoking. So I was just like, "Fuck it. I'm gonna smoke. I have no
Meth?
energy to do anything." Meth.
Meth or heroin? Meth, okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't doing heroin at that point. So I was like, "Can I have a hit of that?" And she just looks at me, she's like, "Sure." Hands it over, knowing I'm like I was really pregnant at this time. Before all this, the family they gave me pregnancy pictures, like, they had someone from their church take pictures of me on the beach, like, pregnant. It was really sweet. They did a lot for me, and then they had, like, a little baby shower for me. My mom sent some money, and they had, like, a little baby shower. It was really sweet, like, really sweet of them. So, yeah, so this is, like, before all that happened. So after all that nice stuff happened, she came over and I said, "Let me hit it." So I hit it one time, okay? And immediately I felt it because I hadn't been smoking. So I'm like, "Oh my god, I have energy. I'm ready to go do some stuff." She was like, "Well, come with me and we'll clean out my storage." I'm like, "Okay." I go with her. At this point, I'm just like talking a million miles an hour, like, yeah, how you are when the first time you smoke meth in a while. So we're like hanging out, talking, clean out her garage, nothing. And I felt like weird, I felt weird, but I thought it was just like because I was like super high. So I ended up telling her to take me back, and she took me back. And this was the night before I went into labor. That next morning, I think because I had smoked, it like, I don't know, it triggered my labor.
I know cocaine does. Cocaine will put you into labor if you're close. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I was like 2 weeks out, and the next morning I woke up. I hadn't even gone to get my dose yet at the methadone clinic, and I was, like, forcing myself to sleep, so I laid down to go to sleep, and finally, like, right at, like, 4 o'clock in the morning, I got to go to sleep, and immediately, like, 5 or 6 in the morning, I start to feel, like, almost like period cramps, but my water never broke. I just felt cramps. And I was like, "Oh my god, what do I do?" So I call my she's like my sister-in-law, like my Justin's sister. Called her and I was like, "Hey, I think I might be going into labor. Like, I'm having contractions." And she's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to class, and if it gets bad, just call me." And so I waited like 15 minutes and they started getting stronger and stronger at that point. And I'm like, "Yep, I really think I'm going into labor. I need to go dose though before I go to the hospital." So she comes to get me. She doesn't go to class that morning. She comes to get me and we're on our way to the methadone clinic and I'm like having intense labor pains already. It's crazy, right? And so I'm like, "Whoa, this is pretty rough." Like, I'm just tripping out because I just had smoked the day before. Like, I was
Yeah.
just everything in me. I just was like, I can't believe this is happening. So I go dose, and then she takes me to Fountain Valley Hospital where I was planning to have the baby. They had already planned to have me set up there and everything. And so I go there, and I think I was already like 4 centimeters dilated at that point. And so I right away I was like, yes, I want that epidural. I was already in a lot of pain, you know? I was like, I don't know how people are like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna do natural," and then they wait till the very last minute. I mean, I was in a lot of pain already. I'm like, "Yeah, just give me the give it to me." So they gave me the epidural, and I knock out because I hadn't slept, that whole night basically, and I knock out the whole day up until, like, nurses are coming in to check on me and everything, but I don't remember anything from that day. Like, I was just out cold, completely out cold. And I end up waking up, like, probably around 10:30 that night. And they're like, "Okay, are you ready?" And I'm like, "What? We're doing this?" Like, that's how the epidural, like, I don't know if it was the epidural or what, but I was just pretty much out that whole day. I just remember being like, "It's ready? We're ready? What?"
Holy
I couldn't even get
shit.
my feet in the stirrups. It was like so it was intense. Like I couldn't feel my feet. I couldn't feel anything. And so I ended up delivering her.
How do you push if you can't feel anything?
I don't you just like
Naturally,
like
just
you
kind
have
of
to like
muscle memory, I think I'm pushing.
yeah, like I couldn't feel it, but
Okay.
they were just like just push and so I did and I ended up having her Jalen. Her name's Jalen. She is 6 pounds, 12 ounces, and she was a baby. She was little because I was on methadone. She had to go into the NIC unit, just to be safe.
Yeah.
And that was like a really rough time for me too. I just had a baby. My boyfriend at the time, he ended up getting released 2 days after that. So we missed the birth. My mom decides to fly down, her and my brother to be with me and the baby. And yeah, it was just a really rough time.
Were you alone in the delivery room?
No, I was with Trissa,
The
my
sister.
the sister, yeah.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
yeah,
So the epidural was so strong you didn't feel her coming out?
I didn't feel anything.
Wow. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
So did they blood test you and find the meth or no?
Yeah, they did.
They did. Okay. So, two questions. Actually, before I say any of that, thank you for sharing this. I know that this is a sensitive part of your life and story, and I really appreciate you sharing it this clearly in this, in this detail. I really appreciate it. And I know a lot of people listening are going to feel seen by this story. So, two questions. One, how long does she stay in the NICU and what does that process look like? And then what happened when the meth comes back when it's positive?
Yeah. This is like a really, really sensitive subject for me that I haven't really processed a lot yet.
Okay.
So it's really hard for me to talk about, but so she got taken.
Okay.
I originally asked if my parents could take her, because they were willing to, but they were out of state. And I was still in the state of California, but I knew I was going to have to go deal with because I had a nationwide warrant, extradition warrant from New Mexico. So I knew I was going to have to go face that sooner than later. And so I had asked if my parents could take her, but since I was still here in the state of California, they would rather have someone here take her. So Justin's dad, his family decided to take her temporarily. And at this whole time, so she's in the NIC unit for probably almost a month. Yeah, she withdrew from the methadone pretty bad, but we would go visit her every day, him and I. Yeah, those were really good memories with her.
Yeah.
But shortly after that, one day, and we weren't even doing anything wrong. Like after I kind of like was trying to change my life around at this point, but I knew I had that warrant hanging over my head. We get pulled over one day. I think we were just leaving the hospital or something, going back to where we were going to be staying, and he had tinted windows, and we got pulled over for tinted windows. Yeah, and they ended up running both our names and realized I had a warrant. So they took me into county. This was probably, I would say, 2 months after the baby. Yeah, because it was like she was born October 13th, 2017, and this was probably, I would say, around Christmas time, a little right before Christmas time, or right after Christmas. Sorry, right after Christmas. So we were going back and forth to the hospital, visiting her, hang out at his family's house, so on and so on. And then we ended up getting busted for the tinted windows. I don't know. I don't know if that was like, who knows? Who knows? But Anyways, they pull us over for that. I end up going to jail here for like 3 days, and then New Mexico comes and picks me up. It was really quick. Yeah. I get extradited back to New Mexico. That process was really shitty because it was like 11-hour car ride, shackled, hands and feet. It was just a shitty time. So then I finally am going to face so I think I was in jail for like 30 days at that point, and I finally saw the judge, and he what did I get? I got 4 years probation, and oh, I got sent to New Mexico Women's Recovery. It was run by DOC. It was like a recovery run by the Department of Corrections. So I finally they sent me there. It's a 6-month program. I only made it 90 days in there, and stuff just happened, unfolded. I ended up getting kicked out for I was holding like these girls were doing drugs the whole time I was there, right? And I actually was doing really good. I like wanted to change my life around because I just had a baby, all this stuff happened, and one of my friends from my hometown was there. Ended up coming in, and she had a bunch of Suboxones on her, and she asked me to hold them for her, and I was like, okay. I didn't do any, I didn't do them, but I ended up getting. They searched our stuff and they found them. Yeah, that whole thing.
Okay.
And I was, like, actually the one peeing for all the girls at this point because they were all using it. So I would do the UAs for them. But anyways, I ended up getting busted for that, sent back down to court in my hometown, and then I got released to go to drug court. So I'm waiting for drug court at this time. So I'm out, and I have to do things for California in order to get my daughter back. So they send me like a list, right? So I did the parenting classes. I did the circle of friends. What is it? I forgot it's some other program that they have you do. And then they wanted me to go in for testing. So I would go in for testing. I had to pay for it because, it wasn't in the jurisdiction of California. So I went in for testing and did these tests from this place that they didn't have any referrals for me in California. So I just had to find them myself in New Mexico. Well, I guess it wasn't court approved. The place that I went to wasn't court approved, so all the testings that I did up until that point weren't approved from California. And I was like asking him, "Okay, so then what do I do? Like, where do I go?" She couldn't tell me. She didn't have any resources in New Mexico, so it was like, "I'm on my own, but that doesn't work for us." And I'm like, even though it was like a real center I would go to do it. At that point, I'm just like, ready to just give up. Like, I don't know what to do. They're not giving me any direction. So at that point, I started doing drugs again. Didn't care about anything. I feel defeated at this point. I feel like, nobody's on my side. I can't figure out how they're not giving me resources. I don't know any resources. At this point, I feel like I've gone round and round with these people so many times. I just don't know what to do at this point. So I guess the only way I knew how to cope. And I was doing so good too. Like, I wish I would have just pushed through it a little bit more. At that time, I had no recovery. I was just like white knuckling it. I didn't know. I still had that uncomfortability inside, constantly the just irritable, restless, and discontent 24/7. So that's what I thought being sober was like, that irritable, restless discontent. Like, I was always going to feel like that. I was like, fuck it. I'm done at this point. Like, so I would come back here to visit, but illegally, because I wasn't supposed to leave the state. So I'd come back and visit for, a little bit, go see her for a day or two, and then come back. And at that point, I'm using at this point. I'm not caring, not giving a fuck about anything. So I'm waiting to get into drug court, right? And I'm using heavily at this point. So there's no way they're going to accept me. But I'm like, popping bottles at this point to fake drug tests at the probation office. She obviously can see I'm like fucked up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm thinking of seeing everybody. I think, "Oh, there's nobody's gonna know." Everybody knew. So, I wasn't getting away with it. Like, I think one time this is really funny. I go in to do a UA test. She made me use this wand. I
yeah.
don't know if you've ever seen okay, so
Uh-huh.
the wand where you have to hold it out
We have to
here,
hold it, yeah.
use your finger to pierce the bottle. So I'm like, "Oh my god, I know she can make me use one. What am I gonna do?" I'm like, "You know what? I'm just gonna go pop it before I go in there and just, use my Kegels as much as So I do. And I'm, like, walking, like, with my legs closed as, like, tightly as I can without, like, being noticeable. Because it's not that, like, it's a short walk from where I have to be. So I'm, like, pissing down my leg at this point. And I'm like, it was awful, awful for she's clearly looking at me, and I'm like so by doing my Kegels, I had pushed the bottle, like, sideways. So, like, yeah, it was really bad. So, it's, like, dripping down my leg, but I can't get it to, like, go in the cup when I sit down.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, "Oh my god, dude. I don't want it to, like, pop out in the cup," you know? So, there's, like, little trickles of pee in there, you know? I don't even know if it's the pee from the bottle or my pee, I have no idea. So, I'm just like I give it to her. It's like, nothing that she could use. So she's like, "Well, I need more than that. You're gonna have to go sit in the lobby." And I'm like, she's like, "I don't want you getting up, only to get water and that's it." I'm like, so she knew. She knew at this point, like I had been faking it for so long, but like I clearly go in there like eyes dilated, like or pinned, one of the two. But anyway, she ended up taking me to jail that day, like because
Oh,
I couldn't pee.
shit. Okay.
Yeah, she was just over my shit. She's like, "If you can't pee right now and I've given you an hour, you're going to jail." So I ended up going to jail, and yeah, I did 10 months at that point.
Oh, shit.
I had done probation violation after probation violation because they gave me my one PV was with New Mexico Women's Recovery. My second one was when I popped the bottle that time, and the third time she's like, "You're going." So she only gave me.
Wow.
So I had to do the rest of what I had on probation at that time, which was
Okay.
I think it was like 2 years.
Okay.
But they ended up giving me 10 months. It was like half time. It was a little under 2 years, but 10 months with half. So that or
Okay.
10 months so I ended up doing 10 months in county for my probation violation in New Mexico. But it's a lot different over there than it is over here. Like, the jail's just different. Like, you get 3 hot meals a day. It's more like a camp over there than it is jail, Like, over here, it's, like, poor, like, you don't have access to a lot of things. Over there, we were doing lots of crafts, like, it was different. It was a different experience. I had gone in because every time I would go into the probation office, I would always have, like, a little care package in case I went to jail, so I didn't have to kick in jail. So, I had one that time too,
Like, inside you? Where would it be?
inside me.
Okay. So you had that and the bottle in you?
Yeah, so it would be that first, wrapped really tiny up there, and then the little bottle. Yes. It was like definition of insanity.
What would be in your I used to call it a kit, and I did the same thing. It would be in me when I went to court, and it would be like fucking whatever I could put together, which was as much Xanax as I could put together, which would be like 3, and then some Suboxone pills. How many I could put together. Is that what you had?
Same. I had the strip, like, I took out the strips, and I'd place them, Saran wrap, place one, Saran wrap, so they wouldn't all get stuck together. Saran
Okay.
wrap. I had probably had 20 strips on me and, like, 10 Xanax.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Holy
So
shit.
it was little, like, I had it really compact. It was, like, maybe this big,
Okay. When did you get the bottle out?
when I got to the jail and
Okay.
I went to they have you UA to see if you're pregnant,
Okay.
you know? And so the nurse goes in and she has you could close the door and I just pushed it out. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
But you still had your kit with you.
had my kit, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I
Okay.
had that the whole time, had it during booking. I was in booking. They keep you in booking overnight there. So I was in booking, but they give you like your mattress, everything while you're in booking. So I'm breaking off all the girls, and I go back to population. And they put me in like a room and everybody knows usually when I go in I have something. Like that's just how I don't know, anytime I was on the run or like in thought like I could possibly go to jail, wherever I went, that little kit went with me. I was just insane because I was so scared of kicking.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so insanity, dude. Anyways, we all had so when I got to my room, I was breaking everybody off, so we're all high. They obviously see that we're high. I don't know if someone got caught with something or someone was just nodding off. They knew that I was the only person that went to that pod that day. So they ended up coming in and like raiding our little pod. But they didn't find it because I already had it. I always kept it like stashed, which is so gross to think about. Like, you're taking these strips that,
I did that
know,
too. Bro, I don't know if you've heard me tell this story on the podcast before. I stuck a meth pipe in me, like it was like half loaded, and brought it to jail. And it was in me for 3 days. And I thought I was going to bail out. I would have smoked it when I got out. I ended up just throwing it
Yeah.
in a trash can after a few days because I did kick and I didn't have my kit with me because we got pulled over. It wasn't court. And so I had nothing with me other than that pipe, which I put inside me in handcuffs. And then after 3 days in jail, I like woke up and remembered it was in me and I just jammed it in. But like, I totally understand that. I used to sleep with my roommates. I've actually interviewed her on the show. My last like bunkie in that program, I slept with her pee inside me every night for like a month. Every
I've
night.
done that too.
Yeah, every
Yep.
night. Yeah. I get it. I totally get it.
That's insane.
I
Isn't
know.
that
It's
insanity?
insane. That was part of why the last time when my friend said to me, I mean, you could get clean, part of what occurred to me was the drug testing. I was like, my whole life is about passing drug
Revolved.
tests for people.
Yes.
My whole life is around these crazy fucking ways to put stuff inside my vagina so that I can pass, so that I can keep using drugs and keep being a homeless person. That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
I know.
That was part of the whole
But when
thing
you're
for
in
me.
that life, it's so crazy because you don't it's so normalized because you're around
Yeah.
everybody else that does that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem so crazy or because everybody around you is like it's just so normalized, you know? So then once you get clean and you're taken out of that environment and like I'll get to that story later, but yeah, it's just a whole like I wish I would have done that so much sooner, but to me, it was just like that was never even a thought that crossed my mind. Like, this is what I did, and this is how we're gonna do it because I wanted to continue keep using, and I'm gonna find a way to keep using. And it's just insane. Like I now thinking and telling these stories back to you, like I'm finally realizing like how crazy I sound.
We were
But it
very
wasn't crazy at the
committed.
time, you
Yeah, it
know?
wasn't crazy. We were committed. Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted to do drugs. Yeah.
Yes.
What's crazy, I'll say this, what's crazy is that we stopped. And you're a miracle and I'm a miracle and people say that to me and I kind of roll my eyes, but it's true because most people at that level don't stop. But we did,
You're right.
you
We
know?
did.
And like
We did.
that's what's unusual for us, you know. Fuck, dude. So you do 10 months.
10 months. I don't want to say it was fun. But it wasn't like the jail is out here, it's different, and plus I had a lot of my girlfriends that like, my girlfriends from outside that I was hanging out with around, we were all, roommates, like, we somehow all got to be in the same room
Oh,
together.
that's
We
funny.
just, like, made it that way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was, like, the 5 of us, and, like, I'm super close with those girls still today. Most of them are sober to this day because they have to be, but still, nevertheless. So it was a really good time, like, I learned how to play, pinochle. And that was what our day consisted of, playing pinochle all day, every day. You know, it was really fun though. And we would gamble, we'd make dice out of bread, stuff like that. I learned how to make those Jolly Rancher heart roses, you know, roses. We've made every spread, cheesecake spreads, like just anything and everything gross you can think of to mix together, we would make. Tamales, like just everything. It was pretty gross, but it was good at the time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would probably try it out here too, but it's just a weird thing to eat. And then so after that, I get out, I kill all that. I don't have anything lingering over me, right? So I get out from doing the 10 months and I go over to see a friend. And immediately I'm gonna get high, you know, because I was using in there too. Like drugs would come in, we'd be using for days on end. And so never occurs to me to stop using. So I get out and I go to a friend's house and they were smoking heroin out of, like, a bong, you know? I can't remember how he was smoking it, but, like or maybe it was the dabber. It was a dabber,
Yeah. Okay. I've done
mhm.
that.
I was like, "Let me rip it." He's like, "Okay." I ripped it one time, and mind you, I've been clean off of heroin for 10 months. So, I rip it, and I just lay down. The next thing I know, he's, like, standing over me, like, giving me CPR, and I wake up. He said he Narcaned me twice. I guess I OD'd. It was awful the way I felt when I woke up. My whole body felt like tense. I felt super nauseous, like I just wanted to throw up. And he was like, "Oh my god, like, are you okay?" I just Narcaned you twice, like, you just OD'd, and it was off smoking 1 hit of heroin. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I shouldn't have gone like that, you know, it was crazy, but I've never met anybody that's really died from smoking heroin. It's not often you hear that.
Is that right? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you can. I don't know if I know anybody either though, because you pass out before you can consume enough. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I think,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I've never so, yeah, it was just a new experience for me. I was like, "Whoa, okay." But anyways, I was, like, laying on his bed like, "Oh, don't move. Don't touch me." I just felt so sick, I just ended up sleeping it off, and then I got up, and after that, I was like, "New Mexico is not for me." Oh, and the whole time I was in jail for the 10 months, I was in there during COVID.
Oh God. Did you have to wear masks
COVID, yeah,
in
the
jail?
beginning in jail.
Just in the pod? Like if you're out in the day room, you had a mask on?
No, 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 not if we're in the
Okay.
pod, because they would quarantine people, but if any time we would leave the pod, which was very rare at that time, they would make us wear these, like, homemade masks that someone made, like, with, like, cute little designs on them. They were, like, sewn together. They were really cute. They had
Yeah.
different designs, but they would give them to us, and we'd wear them outside the pod.
Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. And were you hearing from Justin while you were in there at all?
Yeah, at this time, he was already in jail for something else, doing some time,
Okay.
you know? And at this time, I'm just like he left me one of the brief times I was in jail, he left me. The very first time I went to jail, he left me, and didn't really, like he was like, "I just don't think we should be together." He wrote me a note,
Okay.
letter, because he was getting out, and then I ended up getting out, like, 2 weeks after that, and he wanted me back, and I was just kind of over it at that time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Like, just, "You motherfucker, you're gonna leave me when I'm in there? Like, we're done."
Right.
So but
Okay.
he's still one of my best friends. Like, I still care about the guy. I still talk to him because obviously
Still to
he's
this
the
day.
father of my yeah, he's the father
Okay.
of my child.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's kinda like we have that bond that's never gonna be broken.
Yeah.
Plus, I really like his family. Now I can I'll kinda touch on, like, the visiting with my
Yeah.
daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I haven't missed a birthday until recently, until
Okay.
this past year. I would always go for her birthday. I would see her on Christmas. Like, they didn't let me see her that much, but I got to see her more when I was in my addiction than I do now,
Oh,
which
okay.
is wild.
Yeah.
I've tried reaching out several times to see her. I have so much stuff in my car to give her, and that it's either like I don't hear anything back, or because there's a language barrier there. Like
Okay.
the grandparents only speak Spanish,
Okay.
so I have to contact the aunt usually. But like I'll do like a Google Translate and like try to send a
Yeah.
message to grandma
They're
when
in
I don't hear back.
LA? Where do they live?
They're like around the corner from my boyfriend's house.
Oh, shit. Okay. Okay.
So the last time we went over there, my Justin and I, they were mad that we just showed up. They were like, "Don't just show up, make sure you call, blah, blah, blah," you know? But they let us see her anyways because he was with me. But if I was there by myself, they wouldn't. They're, like, a little different to me when he's around. So, I've been trying to see her, and I've gotten like, "Yeah, I'll check with my mom and get back to you." And so then I'll hit her up, "Have you asked your mom?" You know? It's, like, round and round with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now she's just, like, ignoring me at this point, so which is
Okay.
really weird because they know I'm clean, they know that I have, like,
Yeah.
almost 18 months clean, you know?
Yeah.
So you think that they would be more inclined to let me see her, but I don't know what the issue is there.
How old is she now? She's 8?
She's 8.
Okay. Okay. So, I wanna kinda jump ahead a little to because I know you gotta go at 11. Meeting your current boyfriend and you getting clean this time.
So that's right where I was at. So
Okay,
right after I
perfect.
got out of jail, I decided, New Mexico's not for me, I'm gonna move to California again. So I moved back out here, right? And I'm staying with a friend. And my my current boyfriend, who I'm still with, he had just, like I said, we dated. I had touched on him briefly back in my part one, I think, because we were doing the scripts together, you know. But him and he had just gotten out from doing like 10 years or like 7 on a 10-year sentence,
Oh,
uh,
shit.
5 on a 10-year sentence, something like that. And
Okay.
so he had just gotten out, I had just gotten out, and so we kind of, like, connected over Facebook and, like, I was like, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing?" You know? We're both, like, barely starting to use again, like, just barely, like, trying to hold it together without any programming, of course, like, maybe drinking or, like, barely dabbing. I just overdosed at that point, so I was, like, real nervous. But anyways, we meet, we get together, and it was so weird because at that time if you ask my boyfriend at that time, when we first met, like, I told him, I was like, "You're gonna marry me, watch." And he was just kinda hesitant because he knew I was a wild, crazy girl back then. But there's been a lot of years in between, you know? Like, from 2009 till, 2020,
Long
it's a
time.
long time,
Yeah.
you know? So people grow up by then. But anyways, we just started hanging out. We would go to do you know what slap houses are?
No.
The fishing game, gambling spots.
No, no.
No? Okay, it's like this little, like, video game arcade thing. It's basically gambling. So you put
Okay.
your money in the machine and then, you kill these fish, like, it's like an arcade game. You
Okay.
kill these fish and
Not real fish. It's a
you
game.
no, it's a game,
Okay.
it's a video
Okay.
game,
Okay.
like Pac-Man, but, like, with fish. And then whatever your total is at the end, the people would pay you out, like, real money, So whatever you had, like, if you had $200, you would get $200. So it was like gambling. So we go to these fishing spots together and we'd gamble and hang out and, like, we were just, like, inseparable from, like, the first time we hung out till, like, now. We've never really left each other's side. We were just I don't know, and I told him, like, I think I knew back then more than he did because he just was so, like, really not wanting to settle down. He just got out of, prison for, like, what, 5 years. So he really wasn't really willing to settle down right now, but I kinda made him, I don't know. Or he just I didn't make him, but he just we fell in love. It was like that, like, crazy, like, couldn't keep our hands off each other kinda love,
Oh. Yeah.
kissing in front of everybody, and they're like, "Get a room, gross." Like, yeah. So we ended up moving in together. So a bunch of stuff happened in between. Like, we cops came to our house for a stolen car that I was driving that my plug had given me to drive. I didn't know it was stolen, but they ended up towing it. Didn't really get in trouble, nothing like that. So this is what started my recovery is my boyfriend and his friend were going into post office into the well, my boyfriend wasn't going into the post office. He was good at Photoshop, so his friend Landon would have him go into the make fake checks for him, and he would go into the post office and get like rolls of stamps this big. I mean, $6,000 worth of stamps at a time, and then they had a person that they would sell them to.
Oh, they would pay for them with a fake check
With a fake check,
and then
and
sell the
the
stamps to
post office
someone.
yeah, the post
Okay.
office would go off of, like, a I'm not sure, I was never really involved in that whole process, like, it was more just and my boyfriend, he never went into any of them, but he would make the checks for the guy that would go in. So, anyways, the guy that would go in, he ended up getting busted at a post office and then Ubering straight to our house one day, right after he getting busted by the feds. And so he came to our house and we're like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?" Like, we couldn't believe it. And I had been begging them at this point to stop. Like, you guys are playing with the federal government. Like, stop. But they ended up, I guess, they calculated like $1.6 million worth of stamps or something like that. I'm not sure on the number. Don't quote me on the number. But I ended up during the raid. So they came and raided our house. And the night before, I had fallen asleep on the couch because I was super tired. We were stressing over them coming to our house because he just, on Friday, had just gotten arrested, and let go by the feds. And it was like a Monday, and they ended up raiding our house that morning. They had a federal search warrant. It was the postmasters, the postal service inspectors came to our house, raided our house, and they were about to let me go, because I wasn't had no part in that, like nothing. So I'm asking them to go get my purse, and I forgot that my boyfriend had put the drugs in my purse that night. And so when they got my purse, they're like, I don't think you're free to go right now." And I know. So there was like a half an ounce or a little, 3/4 of an ounce of meth. 3/4 of a pound of meth in there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Shit.
and yeah,
And it's a Fed case, so they charge you with trafficking again.
yeah, 336 grams of methamphetamine. That's
Holy
basically
shit.
yeah.
That's a lot, bro.
Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot.
So what do you get charged with? Trafficking?
No, so at that time so this is, like, 2023, okay? They turn it over to the state, and the state picks it up, and I get cited and released because anything under I think it was under
A
I
pound.
can't remember. Anyways, 336 grams, is that under an ounce or a pound?
Okay.
An
Okay.
ounce,
Okay.
something like that. Anyways, they just cite and release me. So I get cited and released. I have to go to court, show up for my court date in a month, and I go to that court date, and they haven't filed charges yet. So I'm like, "Hmm, maybe they're just behind." Not thinking anything of it. I kinda in the back of my mind was like, "Hmm, that's weird. For that kinda dope, you know that they would've probably filed, some kinda charges." But nothing. And so my boyfriend, when all that raid went down, he ended up getting a lawyer, just in case. They hadn't filed charges on him yet, but just in case, because he was a small portion of what happened, but he still had
They didn't take him to jail that day of the raid?
they didn't take anybody to jail.
Oh.
That's not how
Oh.
the feds will raid your house, build a case, wait a year, and then you'll get charged.
Oh, shit.
So
Okay,
we're going
okay.
about our business, scared to death that we weren't doing anything at that time. Like we were done doing whatever we were doing. We were done with the whole I mean, we were still doing drugs. We couldn't stop doing drugs, but it was just personal. We didn't want to do anything, be around anybody. So we were just barely getting by. We still had our house. I was still doing hair at that time. I was doing people's hair, so I would make money off of that. My boyfriend would do tattoos. He would make money off of that. Just trying to kind of live a normal life, but when you have no recovery and you're still doing drugs, you can't really live a normal life. So about I would say almost or maybe it was exactly no, from August till May the next year, so almost a year later, they ended up filing charges on my boyfriend. Or no, I remember specifically, we're at Pachanga gambling, and we get a call from my boyfriend's lawyer that he hired at the time, and they said that they're gonna charge both of us with my boyfriend for the stamps, so, like, some kind of fraud for stamps in the post office. On top of that, he's gonna get the trafficking or we're both getting the trafficking charges. What happened was my boyfriend, when they found that dope, he admitted that he tried to tell him that it was his and take the
Oh.
charges because they came for him, and so he wanted to try to take the charges for me. He didn't want me to get in trouble, and so he ended up fucking himself in the end. But it was a sweet gesture. He just didn't want me to get in trouble in all his nonsense. Even though it was my drugs too. It wasn't like it was just his. And, anyways, they knew that. And they ended up charging both of us for that. And in the feds, anything over 50 grams or 50 or 55 grams is a 10-year mandatory minimum sentence. We're both looking at 10 years at this point. We're like, what the fuck? I'm tripping. Like, most I've ever done is 10 months. How am I going to do 10 years? Like, what is going on? So I get a lawyer too. I end up getting a lawyer, and a friend of mine helps me pay for it. I'm still paying for it, by the way, but it was a really good lawyer. And so I end up agreeing to turn myself in. So I turn myself in. They just book me, fingerprint me, and then you go upstairs to go to court. And at court, the judge does it's like pretrial services,
Pretrial.
basically. Yeah. So he lets me out on pretrial services. My mom flew down. She signed for me to be out, and it's just on your word that you're gonna show up. And if you don't, then your mom is responsible for paying the money or whatever it is. But there's no chance that I was gonna fuck her over. I've already like surrendered at this point. So I get a probation officer, federal probation officer, and I go in to do my first interview with her, and I have to drug test. And at this point, I'm like not even thinking like, how am I gonna fake it? Because this is the feds. Super scared. I'm not even playing like that anymore. I think I was just ready. It was just finally like ah, this is it. I'm done. Like, I'm so sick of living like this, and we finally just surrendered. That was the first time I surrendered. I told her, look, I'm not going to pee clean for you. I need help. I have to go to treatment. I can't do this. I knew I couldn't do it alone. So I asked her for help. She said that I can meet with the art team. And I was kind of like, no, I already have a place I want to go. I'm just waiting for my private insurance to kick in on the first. She's like, okay, you can wait till then. So my boyfriend and I got a policy with some insurance agent that does anybody and everybody knows him in this area.
Okay.
But he'll help you get a policy if you need a policy.
To go to treatment?
Yeah.
Okay, I want this person's name from you.
Yes. His name's Bob.
Or I want his phone number. I'm sorry, that's really fucking helpful. I don't give
It
a
is.
fuck what anybody says. I've gotten in arguments with my girlfriends about this. I'm like, they're like, it's unethical. And I'm like, why? 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 They fuck us with insurance and treatment in America. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck if it's unethical. If I am strung out and my mom can pay $150 for me to get a month of insurance and I can get some
Yeah.
help, they're gonna bill the
Right?
insurance anyways. I definitely want this person's number.
Yes,
And I don't care. I'm
absolutely.
saying it on the fucking record. If you need help,
Good.
let me know.
I know.
And I'll give you Bob's information. I don't care. Fuck.
I don't care either. I know. And you know what? He saved my life. Like, I am forever grateful for him because if I wouldn't have had that insurance, I would have been waiting months for a bed in to go to, some county facility that's not going to do shit for me, basically, you know? And so, yeah, we ended up paying him. We ended up getting, I ended up going to where I work now is Covenant Hills
Oh,
Treatment Center for Women. Shout
oh,
out
that's
to the
so
good people.
cool.
Yeah, so I ended up finally getting a job there like 6 months later after I went to treatment, so I went to treatment there, and, when I first got there, I was really reluctant to, like, turn myself over to God and, like, this higher power thing I kinda struggled with, but it is a Christian facility, so they implement God and the 12 steps together, like, Christianity and the 12 steps together, so it's not as, like, hush hush as, like, AA and NA is about, like, religions. God, yeah. So anyways, I went and I'll never forget one day I was having a really hard day. I had found out some bullshit news that didn't end up being true, but like one of my girlfriends had said that my boyfriend had cheated on me while I was in rehab when it was actually her boyfriend. Like it was just this whole thing. My boyfriend had come clean to me at this point, about everything wrong that we've done to each other. We're gonna start over, start this new relationship. I told him where I was at fault. He told me where he was at fault. So after hearing this, I was like super like, he fucking lied to me. Anyways, it ended up not being true, but like I'm so happy that it happened because that's the day I found my way back to God. Like, I ended up going to my room and I was just sobbing, like, crying. I've never felt so helpless. Just, "Please, God, like, if you're real, just please show me a sign. Like, I need you more than ever now." Like, just crying, sobbing in my room alone at the treatment center. And Janine, I heard it clear as day. It was insane. Like, I still get goosebumps over it. I felt like something warm come over me, and, like, it was as if someone was, like, going like this to me, like, I felt, like, some pressure on my body, and I swear I heard him say that he was with me, like, "Kristen, I'm with you." It was wild. It was the most insane spiritual experience I've ever had. I've had never had anything like that before. I don't know if it was because I was so desperate and listening and quiet enough to hear him, but it was amazing. And from that day on, like, I turned everything over to him. Knew that I couldn't do this alone. God is everything to me. He's got me through everything.
It's actually interesting that you say that because just on Saturday, this was the topic at my meeting. They called on me to share, and I was like, I don't have anything good to say on this because I don't actually know how to do this. So, what does it mean for you? What is the difference between, like, if you're trying to do something, like you're sober living right now, right? Like, if you're trying to do something, or I'll use my studio as an example. When I bought the studio, it was really difficult to do. The previous owners were like kind of trying to fuck us over all the time. It was almost impossible to get the studio. I felt like I was supposed to own it, but like it was really difficult. But I was trying to make it work. It did ultimately. We owned it. And when I look back, I'm really glad that we did. But was I in my will and not God's will? How do you know the difference if it's difficult? If you're trying to do something and it's hard, does that mean you're not supposed to do it? How do you know the difference?
So, like, you basically, for me, it's just about surrendering completely, like, just trusting in him full heartedly that he's going to provide for you, you know? And in several occasions, for instance, when I got out of treatment, we had left our dogs, our boy and girl dog, they aren't neutered yet, at a friend's house to watch our dogs while we're in treatment, right? The girl dog ends up getting pregnant. So we go into transitional living at this point, and I had to beg the treatment center to let me bring my dogs. Finally, they allowed Brandon to have one and me to have one. So we had each one had our dog, right? And we found out the girl dog's pregnant. So I'm getting ready to discharge transitional living, have to find a sober living for not only couples, me and my boyfriend, but for now, my dog has 3 babies. So 5 dogs. Who's going to take us? Like at this point, do you know any rehab, I mean, sober livings will take couples with 5 dogs? It doesn't happen, right? Somehow trusting full heartedly, like my boyfriend and I both found our way and like date. It was so weird, like almost in sync with each other. Like we both gave our life over to God. Both decided to like just trust in him full heartedly.
So if you would take me back to that, I'm doing the work, but just trusting that the result is the right result. That's what it
Just
is.
trusting. Just trusting in something higher than yourself. I can't explain it. It's like something shifted in me that day where I was struggling with this higher power thing. I mean, I remember going to a group of Q&A and A and asking like, "How do you get a higher power?" Like, and they're like, "Just pray, 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 keep praying about it." And like I remember that day like surrendering completely so broken and just completely like listening, waiting to listen, being quiet enough to listen, for some answers or something. And maybe it called me crazy, but I heard it loud as day.
No, I totally
Like
believe you. I absolutely believe you.
like or the God hurts thing that you told me to do, I do that every
Yeah.
so
Oh,
often,
you
and
do? Oh,
that
good.
I do, and I
It's
love it,
cool,
like,
right?
God frequency, like, I really truly believe that if you're quiet enough, you can hear him, and
Totally.
some of the things that I've written down after doing that is just so weird that it's not doesn't sound like me, you know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. Or you get
So
direction, like specific
direction,
direction,
yeah.
you know?
Or just
Yeah.
like trusting that everything's going to be okay, not trying to control everything. Like before, I would always try to control the outcome, control doing this, or control what happens. I'm always trying to be in control of my surroundings. And now, like, just fully being like, you know what? If it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. God's going to provide for me. And trusting that full heart. And it's hard. Like at that time of leaving the transitional living and having no clue where we're going to go, but just trusting that he's going to provide for us. I mean, you can't just trust in him and not do any work in between.
So what happened? How did you find the place?
So I ended up like just putting it out there, and one of the girls I went to treatment with, she was able to take her cat to some sober living that I knew of. And so I called her and was like, "Hey, is there a room there?" And she's like, "Well, I think someone's moving out, in 2 days." And so we ended up staying at my boyfriend's parents' house for like the 2 days in between. But yeah, she ended up letting us move in, but she
Oh,
ended up
okay.
fucking us over too because she stole our money and stuff. But like our deposit, we paid her $1,000 deposit. And his parents really helped us too with financially, because we didn't have jobs at that point. We were fresh out of rehab. We had 5 dogs. We're both like struggling to maintain. My boyfriend had just gotten a job at this point. I can't get a job because I'm having to watch over 5 dogs. So I'm just like fresh out of rehab, watching 5 dogs all day long. It was like watching babies, like you're not knowing what to do. But it was like a really good time for me because yeah, I was really bored, but I had a lot of time for myself to think about where the trajectory of my life and like where I wanted to go with my life. And we kind of both, my boyfriend and I both just had similar places we wanted to go. Like we both wanted to help people. We both decided we wanted to help people. We both, while in treatment, enrolled in college. Our case managers helped us enroll in college. We both got like the computer I'm on right now. It's like a really nice gaming computer that I got from Department of Rehabilitation.
Oh,
They help
cool.
you straight out of rehab. They'll help you with, money,
Oh,
computer,
wow.
printer, money for books. FAFSA, you get the Pell Grant,
Oh,
so pretty much
shit.
you get paid to go to school.
Oh, wow. Okay. Damn. And what is he real quickly, and then I wanna go back to you, and we'll just get to where you are right now, and then we'll be done. I know this is still up in the air. He is still facing serious time, right?
He
Potentially.
is. He,
Okay.
is still going to court for
Okay.
it. It'll be in January. Oh, yeah, so I ended up getting a diversion program in the feds. Basically, it's like drug court, like intense drug court. It's called CASA. It's called Conviction and Sentencing Alternative Program. And so I'll be done with that in February. Like I'm more than halfway through the program.
And it was intense. Like, every time I
It
talk
is
to you, you have to, like, leave and go to that you know what I mean? It's been,
yeah,
like, a lot.
yeah. So it's you work out of this book. It's like an MRT workbook, moral recognition therapy workbook, and it's all about like, changing your thought process and your morals and your values and where you want to go. It was originally made for people that are in prison, but they use it for this program basically. Actually, I'm going to the Casa today as
Today,
well to
right? Yeah,
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 later
yeah.
on. Yeah, where I have to be. So I'm very blessed. They don't give it to a lot of people. It's very selection. Like my boyfriend has tried I call sponsor.
Oh.
I
That's awesome.
know. Anyways, so yeah, it was just I was very blessed to get my attorney made I mean the package he put together to get in it was like full of like, character letters, all my work, all my progress and notes in therapy. Cause I was doing up until about 3 months ago, I was in some sort of therapy or mental health program that I would do every day online. Like I really went full hearted into it. I'm doing that right now. I'm still currently in the program, but once I complete the program in February, it will be my whole case will be dismissed.
Okay.
So my boyfriend has tried to put in for that, but he put in for it because I was in the one in Orange County already. He tried to put in for LA County and he didn't get it. But we're hoping maybe in, his court January, maybe he can get into the one here since I'm discharging. Hopefully, but who knows? He has a lot more of a rap sheet than I do. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, but he's completely turned his life around too. He is a case manager now. He volunteers for not only our church, but we both volunteer for Age Well. We help serve for like the elderly old people or Meals on Wheels kind
Oh.
of.
Oh, that's
We
nice.
do that. He does it religiously, like every single week. I try to do it as much as I can, but I have so much going on too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's completely turned his life over, and around.
Yeah.
And I hope that the judge can see that because I would really hope they wouldn't want to send someone to prison who returned his life around the way he's done.
Yeah. And y'all have opened a sober living too, right? So you have 18 months now?
I mean, almost 18 months.
Almost 18 months. Okay.
17.
Okay. And you obviously have a sponsor, of which is me, and you're doing step work. We need to get together and do your 4 step, finish that. You go to a meeting a week, right? At least one?
I do.
Okay.
I try to, yeah. My schedule has been a little really crazy, but yeah, I do. At least one or two a week.
And then tell us about your sober living. What's the name of it? Where can people
Oh,
find
it's not a
it?
sober living, PHPIOP, and it's in San Clemente. We work with another facility that runs groups through telehealth, but we have a house in San Clemente that overlooks the beach, overlooks the water. I mean, it's not right on the beach, but you can see the beach from beach views. It's beautiful. Beautiful. We take men and women. We don't accept Medicare, and we take most PPO insurances.
Okay.
So
Okay. What is it called again?
it's called Safe House Recovery, Safe House OC.
Safe Also See. That's the Instagram, right?
Yeah, Safe
Okay.
House OC.
And I'll put everything in the show notes. Well, dude, I love you. You're an amazing person. This is so much stuff that has happened, and I'm so proud of you. Like, this 18 months that you have was so fucking hard fought,
I know.
you know?
I really like Covenant Hills saved my life. I shout out to Covenant Hills. I love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I work there and learning to grow there, and my boyfriend, he's doing what he needs to do, and hopefully he can get just as good of an outcome as me. He
Yeah,
deserves it.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Pouring his heart and soul into this, and he's finally a case manager, and he has, like, a 12-person caseload at times, you know?
yeah. And
Oh,
you're on
I'm
the
just
path too. You try to see your daughter when you can, so that relationship is still there. I mean, it's a little there's some barriers there, but you're actively engaged in trying to see her.
yes. Yes.
Do you still have all 5 dogs at your house?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
Like, as soon as we could get rid of like, as soon
Yeah,
as it was, like, the 8 weeks or
8
whatever,
weeks.
we're
Yeah, yeah.
like, "Okay, anybody need a dog?"
Free
No, I still
dogs.
have just 2 dogs, yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, I know you gotta run because I know you gotta go to your thing, but I appreciate you in general, and I appreciate your time so much. I appreciate you driving all the way down here the other day and, finishing up again today, and I'm just so grateful for you, and I'm glad that you're doing so well right now?
I'm so happy to. I love you. You're such a wonderful sponsor and inspiration. I love your story. We have so much in common. I was
We
so nervous.
do!
Yeah. I was, like, so nervous that day to come ask you to be my sponsor, but I don't
It
know
was a
what. It was God that, like, grew balls and went and asked you.
it was after the
We
Hopeaholics
had
event,
a
right?
meeting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Did I speak there? I spoke.
You did. You were
Yeah,
the
okay,
guest speaker, so, like,
okay.
for me to go to someone up it was just out of character for me. Like,
Well, I'm
I'm
glad that
so
you did.
yeah, I am too.
I'm so glad
You've
that you
been
did.
amazing. I love the way you work the steps. I love the is it step 2 that we
Step
do
2, yes, where we did, like,
where you
the way
find
that we
God?
see God, yep.
Yes, such
That's
an
my favorite
amazing step.
also.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite too. Well, we gotta finish your 4 step. I know you're almost done, but
I'm already done.
oh, you
So
are?
whenever you're
Okay.
ready.
Well, then we gotta get together and do it.
'Kay.
Okay.